What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of La Banca podcast in English. I know it's been a little bit of time, work, life, a lot of things got in the way, but here we are, ready to give you another full, exciting show. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff that we missed out on, but we'll recap a little bit. But before we get started, let me say hi to my brothers, man. Fidel, what's going on, bud?
Yo, I was on vacation, so it's good to be back. It's good to be here. It's good to see you guys, and it's good to talk about soccer. So I'm ready to get started.
How was the soccer in DR?
There was no soccer in DR, but if anything, I got to play. I got to play some beach soccer, and got to meet some pretty cool people from Ukraine, from Portugal. So it got there. It got there.
Nice.
Yeah.
A little bit of an inside joke, but Fidel, you look a little thinner.
Yeah. For those of you guys who didn't know, I got the travelers. I don't know what it is, but man, I was sick. So I got sick for a few days. I was there for about 2 weeks, 14 days. So I was sick for around 3 to 5 days. But it was pretty bad. Once I recovered, though, I was able to have some fun, and nothing that could keep me in bed. But it was some kind of like a stomach bug. But it was good. It was good.
That's good, man. I mean, we all need a little bit of vacation. I'm looking to take a little bit of vacation myself here pretty soon. But with that being said, Aurelio, what's going on, bud? Everything good with you?
Good. Just work. A lot of work. Surprisingly, there's been a lot of work past 2-3 months. So I'm grateful. Don't get me wrong, but I could use some vacation time.
Yeah, man. They say the dog days of August are coming, and we're gonna be working like dogs pretty soon. So that's what it is. That's what it is. Drinks up, guys. Drinks up.
There you go.
But with that being said, guys, obviously we have missed a little bit of time, and with that being said, that we had some champions that were crowned over the last couple of weeks, but we won't spend that much time on it because obviously we know we're a little bit outdated. But we do want to recognize the fact that these countries and teams, reached the mountaintop. Obviously, in La Copa America, Argentina with Lionel Messi finally winning his first international trophy with Argentina, beating Brazil 1-0 in La Macarena, which is in Brazil. So, a little bit of a upper hand there as well for Brazilians. They had the home field advantage, I guess, but with nobody there. Obviously, we all follow. I think we've all followed Messi's career from the start to up to now, and to finally see him capture that elusive title that has been, that has been nearly there, but has always escaped them at the end. Obviously, we know we've known he's been in 4 other finals, 3 Copa Americas prior to this, and in the 2014 World Cup against Germany where he lost 1-0 as well.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you, man. How do you feel first and foremost, what you think about the game, and then secondly, Messi finally winning that trophy?
So this has been a trophy that's hunted Messi for years, I'm going to be honest with you. I think he has nightmares about this trophy, but at the same time, I got to say this. I think in my true self, just getting off topic here, that this is the reason why Messi was holding off on his decision to stay at Barcelona. I honestly said it way before, and I know I didn't say it during the show, but I said it to a lot of people. If Messi doesn't win Copa Oro, forget about him staying at Barcelona. Because I think he's going to look for something else. I'm sorry, Copa America. Forget about him staying at Barcelona because he's going to look for other things. How to win other trophies, how to win other things. But if he wins Copa America, for him, he feels like he's done. I know it's not the World Cup, but he's done. He's accomplished things that have haunted him for years. So now that he's won La Copa America, he can finally say, you know what? Yeah, let me go back to the club of my dreams, the club that gave me everything, and I've given everything to them, right? So let me stay at Barcelona. That's just me staying on that opinion, right? Secondly, great game. A lot of people say, well, Messi wasn't so active during that finals. It doesn't matter. I mean, tell me something. How many times have you seen Messi contribute so much passing and other things where his teammates don't even get to finish and win a cup for him? It's always been Messi doing something for Argentina, right? And so you see this game, you talk about the game, and you criticize Messi regardless of him winning it without doing much. It doesn't matter. If you look at you criticize Messi, you compare Messi with Maradona, and Maradona winning all this World Cup and all these titles. Hey, listen, when Maradona had teammates and they had to finish a play to score goals, Maradona won a lot of games, major games, without him contributing or scoring any goals. Maradona had players around him that were capable of doing things for him, and Messi doesn't. Messi has struggled in the last decade or so because he has done everything for Argentina. So I'm really happy for Messi. I'm really happy for soccer at the end of everything, because whatever your opinion is on Messi and Ronaldo, Messi is the greatest player that has ever stepped on a pitch.
Yeah, I
Messi
mean,
is the greatest ever, and so for me, this is it. This is a climax. Even though for everybody else it's the World Cup, but for you to win the cup of your confederation, it's huge. It's huge.
yeah, I mean, obviously we know Argentina hasn't won the Copa America since '93, so it's 25, 20, yeah, almost 20 something years, uh,
Damn,
28 years,
Hmm.
that they haven't won a major tournament, a major FIFA tournament. Obviously, we know they won the 2008 Olympics, with Messi and Kun Agüero on that squad as well. But as far as FIFA tournaments go, this is the first one they've won in almost 3 decades. So that's another check mark off for Messi. Obviously, I think obviously I do expect him to play in the World Cup for Qatar. I don't know if he make it to 2026 when it comes to America. We'll see. Obviously he has the talent and he stays in shape to make it to that, but we'll see what happens. Aurelio, I'm gonna ask you the same question, man. Brazil, obviously, we know that they were big favorites. They were dominating the Copa America. They dominated their group, and they had a little bit of a hard time against Peru, but they obviously did a great job against Peru to pass on to the final. Um, do you think this is a little bit of a downer for Neymar, because obviously they came in as defending champs, but they won that Copa America without Neymar, and now with Neymar, they come in second.
Well, I'm like, you can say, I guess you can say it could be something of a downward, just because at the end of the day it was played in your home country. I understand the fact that there was no actual people in the stands. Well, actually, I take that back. I think the last game did have some fans, didn't
Yeah,
it?
it has some fans.
But still, I'm like, it can and it can. I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, they have won it before. Maybe Neymar wasn't part of it or didn't get to play, but at the end of the day, they have won it. Um, so you can say yes. I'm like, it depends which way you want to look at it. Yes, no, maybe. Just like everything this year, that's had happened this year has been unexpected.
Yeah, I know.
Like going back to Cruz Azul winning the league finally. Like you can take that into Argentina finally winning a Copa America.
Yeah, I know.
So
I know that you don't really care too much for the whole Ronaldo Messi debate or whatever. But are you as a soccer fan happy for Messi?
I am happy. I'm like, I guess you can call it. It's about time he won something international. Like we also, I'm like, yes, they did win the gold. I guess the gold, the Olympic gold in was it '06,
Oh wait,
'08. But I'm like, time to finally do something out of that with Argentina. It's been a while since they actually won the tournament. I'm like, not to disrespect or anything, but Mexico's been invited to that tournament. They've won it twice in the
I got
time
you.
that Argentina hasn't won anything.
True. Um,
So
going obviously that wasn't the only champion crowned this past week. Going across the pond, and speaking of home field advantage, England versus Italy, a packed Wembley Stadium, packed.
it's good.
Italy comes out on top. Penalty kicks. They won three. What was it? 4-1 on penalties. Um, a little bit of controversy at the end, obviously, with Sancho, Rashford, and Saka obviously missing the penalty kicks in consecutive turns. A little bit of negativity at the end with a lot of abuse on social media, racism, things of that nature. Fidel, before we talk about the game, the fact that this dark cloud covers that, the fact that that we had this final, it was a great game. Italy came back and lifted this championship, basically kind of opening the gates for a golden generation for them, because they have a lot of young players.
Right.
But this dark cloud of abuse and racism in Europe still going on, and how hard it is to kind of cancel it, man. What does UEFA have to do to really put fans in their places and let them know that this is not acceptable.
It's really hard, but let me go back to what we were talking about before I answer your question. Our friend Juan Martinez is being active today on social media. He's actually watching us on YouTube Live. He says, "I still think that re-signing Messi is a mistake for Barcelona." He also says Messi has led them to the final, but he still needs to have an A game at a final, which makes a lot of sense. And lastly, about the topic of Messi and Argentina winning the Copa America, he says signing Messi will keep Barca's hands tight for a long time, which makes a lot of sense, of course, because when you have a player such as Messi, and we don't even know if Messi is going to be able to produce or not, hey, you have your hands tied on him because he's the greatest of all time. So there's a lot of things. He's also saying that he's also happy for Messi, but still needs more of him in a final game. So that's interesting. And Juan also went ahead and gave an opinion on what you just asked. He says Southgate needs to be in jail, which is interesting, right? But you talk about the fans, you talk about this final, you talk about, maybe England deserving it more than Italy, maybe even the fans asking more of England, and how Southgate came out with a different game plan. Going back to what Champions League happened, right? My Chelsea stepped up and played the same game that they were playing in the Champions League since the beginning, right? It was working for them. So why did Pep Guardiola come out with Man City and a different game style? Why? Why you got to do this on a final? You can't. You just can't make that mistake. As a coach, you're risking too much when you do that. Same thing happened to Southgate. He got to a final. He expected Italy to expect a game plan that they've been playing all along. If it's working for you, keep it up. And I know what you're saying. All these changes with Sancho and all these guys coming in or being starters or whatever the case may be, your game wasn't the same because you can't implement a different game style in such a short amount of time. You have to have a game, an A game, a B game, a C game, a D game. When teams know what you're doing, you have to have a B and a C and a P and a D plan. You have to. That's why they pay you for this, right? And Southgate really just messed this up for them. England should have won this. I think if England would have played the game that they've been playing before with their normal starters of the games that have been working for them, they would have won this UEFA Cup, and the Euro Cup. I'm sorry, and they would have come out on top of Italy. And Italy just came out to play the normal game, which Italy has, right? Italy comes out and checks teams for the first 10, 15 minutes to see what they have and see what they're capable of doing offensively and defensively. And once Italy studies you, now they know where they're going to attack you. Now they know how they're going to close you out. And now they know how they're going to shut down your your strong pieces. Basically, Italy did the basic stuff in soccer, the most simple stuff. And they have the pieces. They have a strong defense. They have an explosive mid that can create so much for their forwards. And so, congratulations to Italy, man, and England. You missed out on a great cup that should have stayed home. And at the end of the day, I mean, you made your mistakes and it cost you. So, congrats to Italy and England. Better luck next time. Let's go.
Aurelio, I know Fido didn't really touch on the racial abuse, but what are your thoughts on it, man? I know you follow the Premier League a lot. It's a sad thing when there's jokes about if England loses, there's going to be a lot of domestic violence. There's going to be a lot of this, a lot of bad stuff going on, and then to actually see it happen afterwards when they lose, it's kind of.
I'm like, it hasn't changed. I'm like, it's just been going on for years. I'm like, when they win, everybody's together. When they lose, they find a person of color that ended up messing something up, and that's where everything starts again. So I'm like, it's nothing that's new. I'm like, everybody expected it. I'm like, everybody in the team had already expected something like this to happen. That's why a lot of them just completely closed their social media, because right when it happened, they already knew it was going to happen.
Yeah. It's a lot of pressure on the players, and I'm sorry that I didn't talk about that question, but you're right, Aurelio. To a certain extent, FIFA has to step in, and if it has to become to where you got to really let the fan base out, let them out. Because if they're not going to enjoy the game in a disciplined way and promote it and accept the fact that whatever happened on the pitch happened, then you can't be present on the stands. You're looking for something that is so negative towards a game that is so beautiful, because you're not gonna
And
win it
it's
all.
and it's like nowadays it's not just in the stands. I'm like anybody can open up Twitter, open up anything, and just say whatever you want to say. I'm like at the end of the day, all it is just your handle name. I'm like you don't have the things down there to go up to a person and actually tell them what you really feel because you might get your ass whooped.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's obviously a black guy, obviously covering and a black cloud covering over a fantastic final. Obviously two teams. Italy, who I think was really the team of the competition. They came out the gate strong. England with all of England backing them, obviously trying to bring it back home. Whatever, obviously they failed, but they obviously upped their level. So it's sad. Before we carry on to the next topic, Fidel, I want to ask you a quick question. I know you coach soccer, man. The for Southgate to take out active players the last minute of extra time and to put in players that were just sitting on the bench for 120 minutes to just take penalty kicks
or the whole tournament,
or the whole tournament as well. So some of them played some. I know he brought in Rashford. I know he brought in Sancho, but do you think that was the right? I mean, obviously in hindsight, it wasn't the right call, right? But at that time in that period, do you think he made the right decision to bring in a Rashford or a Sancho attacking players who are used to taking penalty kicks and taking off a Henderson and I believe it was
Chaka?
No. Shaka was in there, but I think it was Henderson and Declan Rice, so he took out.
Okay. Yeah. I'm glad you asked that question because look, our friend Juan Martinez, he's so active today on social media with us. He says a great coach needs to improvise within the game, much less make the youngest players take the last penalty. Those are things that separate the great coaches from the average manager. It makes a lot of sense. I got to tell you something. As a coach, you really have to have that confidence in players. Now, let's look at it both ways, right? If these players would have succeeded and they would have conceded this penalty kicks, the media would have been at a whole another level, right?
Yeah.
But then you look at experience, and then you look at them actually failing to concede these penalty kicks, and it just eats you up inside. And at the end of the day, you come in and you say, "Man, I should have just gone with my gut," instead of giving them that confidence because they're so young and so unexperienced. Guys, look at your roster. Look what you have available. You cannot make these things in a final. You can even make this on a semifinal because the objective is to get to that final and then give it all that you have. And experience counts, especially under pressure and especially at home. Nobody had more pressure on those penalty kicks than England. And then putting those youngsters in that position, on the long term, you can say, oh, but that's good experience because even though they missed, next time they won't miss. You can't say that. It's penalty kicks, guys. Penalty kicks, which is a 50-50. Very few guys know how to shoot penalty kicks. Very few. And let me tell you something. You can even point to a corner of where you're going to shoot the penalty. But if you're an expert at putting it in that angle, even though the goalie is going to go there and you told him to go there, if you put it in the right angle and you shoot it correctly, the goalie is not going to stop it. Those are called pros at taking penalties. And you as a coach, you should have a list of who's going to go first, second, third, and fourth, and all of that. And he missed out on this. He missed out on this by a huge mile. You can say that this was his biggest mistake, to have so much confidence on his young guys who didn't have experience. Because at the end of the day, you could have had so many guys go out there and shoot that penalty kick and scored because they've been there before. They could have been a lot more cool, calm, and collect. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, he made a huge mistake. I think that's what cost him the cup. And at the end of the day, he has the right to be criticized till the next game, till next year, till the World Cup, till however long it takes, because that really cost England a huge celebration, soccer, everything all around, really.
Quick, there's a proposed battle of champions, Italy versus Argentina. If this does happen, it would be playing in Napoli Stadium, El Estadio Diego Maradona, which they renamed after, obviously, Diego Maradona, who had passed away last year. Who do you think wins? Quick, Fidel?
Argentina.
Aurelio?
Italy.
Italy? we'll see. Hope they're trying to make it happen. I think it's something that both federations want to make happen, and I think it's something that would be very interesting, very intriguing for both. Obviously, we know UEFA and CONMEBOL are the two biggest footballing regions in the world. So it would be nice to see the champions go up against each other. But obviously those two clubs, those two countries, they made it to the finals. They lifted that championship because they have great foundation. And you know who else has great foundation, Fidel?
Rockcrete's Ready Mix LLC, a solid foundation. Guys, if you're looking for a project to do, whether it's your backyard patio, whether it's a parking lot, your driveway, a building, a parking lot, a foundation from your new home, call our brothers from Rockcrete Ready Mix, a solid foundation. You can always contact our friends, Andy Sierra. He also speaks Spanish, by the way. And you can tell them the La Banca podcast sent you guys. And if you tell them that you need any type of job, they have the finishers, they have the delivery, they have the prices. If you tell them that we send you from the Banca podcast, they will give you the best prices available. Also, I want to let you know, if you're looking for a job or you got a family member that's looking for a job, call them up, hit them up. Rock Creek Ready Mix. They need people who have experience of 2 years of CDL drivers, over 25 years old because of insurance, of course. And you can call them up and you can call Andy Sierra and you let them know that our friends from La Banca Podcast sent you. Let them know that we sent you guys, and they will be able to hook you up, whether you need a job to drive a truck or a family member needs a job. They need drivers right away, and they will give them a job. And of course, if you need any type of work, like I said, a foundation, a patio in your backyard, a driveway, a building, any type of work when it comes to concrete, even material. They're selling material to the lowest price at this time, whether it's iron, whether it's marble, whether it's the mix, whatever it is that you need, they have it for you. Rock Creek Ready Mix is ready for you guys. A solid foundation. Like always, our friends from La Banca Podcast recommends them for you. They did my patio. I'm really happy with it. One of these days, I'm going to show it to you guys. So let's go. Let's look up Rock Creek Ready Mix. Tell them La Banca Podcast sent you, and they'll give you the best price. Andy Sierra, 281-301-8313. Again, Andy Sierra, 281-301-8313. Tell them La Banca Podcast sent you. Rock Creek Ready Mix, a solid foundation. Let's go.
Guys, obviously now we crown champions in Europe. We crown champions in South America. Now we're trying to crown a champion for North America. And obviously, with that being said, the Gold Cup is on its way. Well, it's playing. The group stages that just finished this Saturday, the first of quarterfinals. Saturday we have El Salvador, which is Selecta, versus Qatar, which is obviously the champions of Asia, the Asian region. Mexico versus Honduras. And then on Sunday, we're going to have USA versus Jamaica and Costa Rica versus Canada. But before we get to that, guys, just to touch a little bit basis on the group stages, man, I know myself, I spoke to a couple of people, and I know I mentioned in the chat that we're in, in life that, I think Qatar is a real dark horse in this competition. I know a lot of people, as this is Mexico's tournament to lose, USA came in with like a BC team, whatever. Obviously, the one thing hindering Mexico was the big injury from Chucky Lozano that first game against Trinidad and Tobago, which obviously, prayers up to Chucky Lozano. We're happy to hear that he's doing fine, and he's only going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. So that's great news to hear. But anything from the group stages that you want to talk about, or that kind of amazed you? From obviously the usual, Aurelio?
El Salvador. I think that they surprised a lot of us. They actually have a very, very good team, very well coached, and you can tell they're hungry.
It's finally good to feel some hunger.
It was good watching them play. Because I remember the big rivalries 15, 20 years ago. And they would go toe to toe, and I know a lot has happened in El Salvador that caused them to have a decline, but I'm happy to see them coming back up.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, I'm Salvadorian, Fidel Salvadorian, Aurelio's he's honorary Salvadorian. Obviously, we've been through a lot of ups and downs. A a lot of downs as of late, obviously with the whole match fixing scandal from the beginning of the decade, and things of that nature, corruption in the federation and XYZ, whatever. It's all self-inflicted wounds that we've done to ourselves. But it's finally great to see us coming out of rock bottom, us climbing up instead of going down. And I'm really excited about the Selecta. I mean, obviously we don't have the world-class players that other countries do yet, but we can see that we have hardworking players who are disciplined, players who are actually listening to the coach, who are playing together with chemistry for a club and a country that's wanting to do bigger things than what they're accustomed to. Fidel, obviously I see you rocking a Selecta shirt. Very nice. Looks nice and crispy, nice and sharp on you. What do you take out of this group stage? Aside from the Selecta, is there any other club that's kind of caught your eye? That might be a sleeper or dark horse, or might cause some noise in these quarterfinals.
Man, look, listen. Canada should have not qualified second place. I think Canada was a team to beat the U.S. A lot of people underestimate Canada, and they don't even have most of their superstars, and they're playing really well. They dominated the U.S. They got a quick goal, scored against in the first 20 seconds, I believe. And Canada is a surprise, guys. Don't fall asleep on Canada. So if Mexico wins and Canada wins, which I'm sure they will, because Costa Rica is struggling big time. This is the worst team I've seen of Costa Rica in the last decade, in everything, talent and everything. So I think Canada's going to win that game, and obviously Mexico should take care of Honduras, who's really very hurt right now with a lot of people being injured, the coaches being with COVID. So they're against the wall. That's going to be a good matchup in the semifinals. If they qualify, Canada, Mexico, that's going to be a potential final game right there, which I'm really excited about. But then
they also have a couple players suspended for double yellows.
There you go. So I mean, Honduras just had the worst game ever, right? Aurelio?
Yeah. I mean, I was there at that game last night, and man, it was Qatar. Like I said, I hate the fact that Qatar is going against my Selecta, but Qatar came out here to prove people wrong.
They have a game.
Qatar, they're out there, they're playing fast, they're playing quick, they're scoring the goals, they're taking advantage of opportunities, and for a lot of people that don't know, a lot of these players play together in club level in Saudi Arabia under Xavi Hernandez. And so that's where they get a lot of their cohesion and their knowing of each other and how to play with each other. But with that being said, I like the fact that you mentioned Costa Rica on the die side. This is basically the end of their golden generation. Obviously we know what they did this past decade with making it to a semifinal in the World Cup. Just the real big things that Costa Rica did, and I think Costa Rica is a prime example of what a small country can do when they're focusing, when they have players training and they play for the country. And I hope that La Selecta can strive for something like that here pretty soon. Canada is another one that are very interesting. Obviously Alphonso Davies got injured before the tournament started, so he's out. Jonathan David is another one who decided to go stay with his club, because he's probably pending a transfer. He might get transferred to a bigger club, but they're still doing big things. I have to agree with you fully. I think they were the dominant team in that U.S. match. Unfortunately for them, they gave up a goal in the first 30 seconds of the match. But with that being said, I think Canada is a sleeper to go look out for. But let's get to the quarterfinals, man. Saturday, first game, Qatar versus El Salvador. For those who don't know, they played a friendly right before the World Cup, right before the Gold Cup. 1-0 win for Qatar. I think it was Hugo Perez's third match as a manager. So, and he didn't have his full senior squad. He was trying out young players and things of that nature. Shout out Danny Rios, who's a Houston Dynamo Academy player who got his first cap with Salvador and that friendly. So shout out to him. Mm-hmm. Aurelio, who do you think comes out on top in this game?
That's gonna be a very interesting game. Like you said, Qatar has been playing good, but man, I'm gonna give it to El Salvador 1-0.
Oof.
I'm gonna give it to them.
Pupusa's on me, bro. Pupusa's on me if we get this.
I'm like, the couple games that I've seen besides the Mexico game, I'm like they show composure. I'm like they're playing good. I'm like I'm excited the way they're playing. They haven't played like this in 10 years?
Maybe more, man.
Maybe more. So I'm like, it's good. I'm like, everything's new. I'm like, new coach, practically a new team. I'm like, whatever they're doing, they're finding the right players. I know a couple players have multiple nationalities, and like they chose El Salvador, and look at them go.
Yeah.
It's good to finally get players. It's finally great to see the country take advantage of the fact that we do have a lot of players out there with multiple backgrounds.
Dual, if not three.
Whether it be Mexican Americans, we even have some European backgrounds that we have out there that are going to come play with us pretty soon. Fidel, I know where your heart lies. Qatar, Salvador. We just talked about Qatar and how they're not here to bullshit. They're here to come play and come show the world what they have to offer. But obviously, we know what Salvador has done, a new and improved Salvador, more disciplined. Who's winning?
Man, before I answer your question, we got two people who are really active with us today. Juan Martinez says Qatar is a very disciplined team. El Salvador needs to be focused and alert every play, tactically disciplined to come up with the win. He also says Hugo Perez had lived through adversity too. USA didn't used to be what they are now. He's telling his players, I played with the US when they were underdogs, and we can come up on top as well. And then our boy Nino Osvaldo gave us all the standings. For those of you guys who don't know, Nino Osvaldo tell us, hey, Mexico's going against Honduras, El Salvador versus Qatar, Canada versus Costa Rica, and USA versus Jamaica. But I'm going to tell you this. I like Qatar's game. Qatar, if you tell me, they're above El Salvador, honestly. And they're very risky. And there's no way to relax. But of course, I'm going to go with El Salvador. Not just because I'm Salvadorian, but because I hope for the best. The only thing that I hope that Qatar does, because they're very, very lethal on the counterattack, the only thing that I hope that Qatar does is that they miss at the end. If you look at the game of Qatar versus Honduras, Qatar had so many opportunities.
Oh, yeah.
The problem was that they missed at the last instant. They failed to connect and to finish, right? They got one goal. But if that's the way it's going to go, and if that's the way it can be against El Salvador, I hope it does. El Salvador can come out on top. So I hope El Salvador wins this game, even if it's 1-0 like Aurelio said. But be very careful with Qatar's counterattack, because El Salvador, they don't know how to stop that. Mexico, man, we had a great goalie who stopped 3-4 of those shots that Mexico could have put the game away, right? But at the same time, El Salvador risk a lot. They want to go out there to prove and to win, and that's important. The biggest issue that El Salvador has is the wingers on the side. They're very explosive, Tamacas and Larin, but the one issue that they have is that they lose the ball so much. And this is the reason why Mexico scored on him, because Larin was not ready for that ball to get switched from one side to the other. He fell asleep. And if those two guys, Tamacas and Larin, are playing as starters for this game against Qatar, and they can take care of the ball, we should be okay. But if they lose the ball, we're going to be in some deep trouble, because El Salvador, when they lose the ball, they're not well defended in the back. And that counterattack is very lethal on the side of Qatar. Let's just hope they miss every time.
What's the score line?
1-0, baby, El Salvador. Let's go.
Man, I'm telling you, man, we're gonna be eating pupusas this week, man. Somewhere, some place, we're gonna be eating pupusas this week, because obviously I'm gonna be biased here, man. I'm super excited. I'm super pumped. A lot of people are like, man, it's just a Gold Cup, whatever, it doesn't matter, But they don't know the pain and suffer that we've had to follow. We had a little bit of a spark back in the 2011 version with, when Carlos de los Cobos first came in, when we had a player with a lot of talent, and Fito Zelaya, who was focused at that point, but then the whole match fixing scandal kind of ruined everything, the whole corruption, all that stuff, and to finally come have a team out here. I mean, obviously we know they're not anywhere close to the talent that Qatar might have, like Mexico has, Costa Rica, Honduras, all these other clubs in the semifinals. I mean, the quarterfinals. But what this team has is heart. They have chemistry, and they're disciplined, and they're hardworking. And anything can happen when you have those. If you stay focused, and I believe that obviously we've only allowed one goal in this tournament, which was the goal that Mexico scored against us, and
it was an own goal,
and then it was an own goal on top of that. So I'm looking forward to this match, man. You know, obviously I praise Qatar, and like I said, Qatar is a dangerous team. A lot of speed, a lot of velocity. But I'm gonna go with my heart here, man. I'm gonna go 2-1. I'm gonna make it a little bit more exciting. But you know, I think Salvador's gonna pull it out, and get to that semifinal, man. And that's gonna be an exciting time for us, man. I hope, you know, like I said, we're gonna go eat pupusas this whole week.
I'm gonna tell you something real quick. Jacob Ramos just came into the mix. I mean,
What's
I'm
up,
sorry,
Jacob?
no, my boy Ramon came into the mix, and he says the Gold Cup champions back to back is Mexico. And then our boy Juan Martinez said Mexico is probably the right pick, Raymond. But also, Juan Martinez said against this game, Qatar, El Salvador, he says El Salvador in penalties. In penalties,
Man.
that's a probability, man.
It
That's
is.
a probability.
It's knockout. It's knockouts, man. I know my heart's gonna be beating out my chest, but it's a possibility, you know. Just to play devil's advocate here, obviously, you know, let me just say, you know, if Qatar does make it through to the next round, I think Qatar has a very good chance and very good opportunity to actually go lift this Gold Cup. You know, it's it's one of those things where you know, I think they're here strictly on business. Like that team has no other desire but to come up here and prove the whole world wrong, because obviously there's a lot of controversy with their World Cup going being in Qatar next season. But you know, that's not part of them. They're just a team that wants to go play. But with that being said, let's talk about the primetime match. Mexico versus Honduras, the leader of Group A versus second place Honduras, Group D. I watched Honduras play. They were, first and foremost, let me shout out to the Honduran community at BBVA Stadium, man. Back-to-back matches, sold out BBVA, 22,000 plus Hondurans out there cheering and showing support for their countrymen, you know, and all that great stuff. It's something great to see. But with that being said, that last match, man, you know, Albert Elise, which is arguably their best player, out for the rest of the tournament. Romeo Kyoto, who we know a lot, who we're familiar with his time with the Dynamo here locally, had an injury. Minor Figueroa, who's their anchor, and back in defense, injured. They're piling up the injuries, man, and it's an unfortunate time because obviously, you know, I think Honduras has a lot of talent. They showed a lot in that Nations League, a little tournament that they had prior to this. And I think Honduras was one of the dark horses prior to this Gold Cup, you know, to maybe go out there and make it to the final and maybe lift this thing up. But
the coaches got COVID too.
And the coaches got COVID too. So a lot of things going up against Honduras, and unfortunately for Honduras, they're playing the big dogs in Mexico. What's your prediction? What's your thoughts, Aurelio? Mexico, Honduras?
It's not going to be as easy as a lot of people might think, but I'll give it a 2-1.
2-1 Mexico?
2-1 Mexico.
Okay. Fidel?
Bro, this is going to be the easiest match Mexico has ever faced in the quarterfinals. And let me tell you why. I just think it's gonna be a beat-up Honduras, mentally, psychologically, in every way possible. Aurelio, come on. You have so many injuries. You don't have your coach. You're giving up. Honduras
Yo conozco Mexico. I know Mexico. And they will find ways to make it hard.
And no. See,
Yes.
this is, I just think psychologically, mentally, physically, Honduras is beat all around. They put in, what's his name? That veteran in this game against Qatar. What's his name? The midfielder? Boniak in the midfield. And he couldn't even do anything. And I was like, that's the best guy they have in the midfield? Come on, Boniak is, 34, 35? I don't know.
36.
Dude, there you go. So I'm like, come on, man. They're done. They're done. I mean, you might say otherwise, but I'm just saying they're done. To me,
what's the scoreline?
Honestly, I think Mexico 3-0. Just because I think psychologically Honduras is done. And in this last game, that was it. They were trying to avoid Mexico. They said it before the interview. They said it. We don't care who we face. Yeah, you don't care who you face when you're 100%. You're no longer 100%. You're injured. You have your coach. You don't have some of your staff. You're done. That's it. So the way I see it is, yes, you're right, Aurelio. Mexico can complicate themselves things for themselves. But Mexico is gonna be a whole nother level. This is elimination round. Mexico is gonna show their real true colors in the elimination round.
I think
They're gonna exploit this time. Watch.
I think what Aurelio's speaking of is sometimes that Mexico sometimes plays down to that level of the other squad, and obviously they see a Honduras limping into the quarterfinals, so they just feel they can just play whatever, and then and hopefully dominate that game, and that might open up something for Honduras to maybe shock them. But I mean, I have to, but I also agree with Fidel. I think this tournament, a lot of eyes are on Tata Martino and his coaching staff, especially with what happened, the Nations League final against USA, and obviously all the pressure being on Mexico having to lift this cup because this is basically their cup to lose. So I think that they're going to come out here and dominate. I'm going to go with a 4-1 scoreline. I think Ramon. Let's go to the chat real quick before I get back to you, Fidel. Ramon goes 3-1 Mexico. Pato here goes 1-0 Mexico, 1 Honduras 0. Sorry. And Nino Osvaldo, what's up, Nino? Goes 3-0 on Mexico. He goes the same scoreline as Fidel. But yeah, man, obviously we all kind of expect Mexico to win here. Some of us expect blowouts. Some of us expect it to be a little bit more complicated, like Aurelio says. I guess it just depends what kind of motivated team comes out there. I think Tata's going to have the guys ready because he understands the pressure that it is being the coach of Mexico, and knowing that if he loses this tournament somehow, some way, that I'm betting that he's out if he loses his tournament. If
Definitely.
so, Fidel, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, man. Look, it's really. I'm not against Honduras. It's so unfortunate though. It's so
Yeah, it
unfortunate
is.
that I mean, listen, this game against Qatar, so many things played a role in order for them to lose that game. First of all, the referee was horrible. Second of all, those calls from the referees psychologically took a lot of the players out of the game, my opinion. And lastly, injuries. I mean, three things went against you the whole game. I mean, three things that throughout the game cost you, and you lost 1-0, by the way. So injuries, referees calls, and at the same time, just not being there psychologically, just completely off, And the support line on behalf of the fans, like you said, amazing, amazing. I don't know if people know this, but Honduras and this group settled down here in Houston, and they played all of their 3 group stages here in Houston. And the fan base from Honduras was amazing to watch on television. I mean, it looked like we were back without COVID 100%. So shout out to the fans. Shout out to Honduras. Bad game, horrible day, worst of luck. And I mean, I wish you the best against Mexico, but I think you're against the wall, and I just think you just don't have it to take care of Mexico. But again, that's just my opinion. Go ahead, Aurelio.
Pretty much what you just said right now is pretty much the definition of Mexico versus Trinidad and Tobago.
Mm.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, and that's what I'm saying. I think that's what you meant by by Mexico making it complicated for themselves, because sometimes they play down to the level of their competition.
And the referees, I'm like, it could be a mixture of everything.
They call it getting CONCACAF'd. So we'll see what happens, man. But Nino Osvaldo asked, will it happen if Mexico versus Honduras face Qatar versus Salvador? No, it goes reverse. So the winner of Mexico versus Honduras plays the winner of Canada, Costa Rica, and the winner of Salvador, Qatar plays USA, Costa Rica, USA, Jamaica. I'm sorry. With that being said, let's go on to Sunday, man. Sunday, guys. Obviously, Canada versus. I'm sorry, who I'm.
Canada versus Costa Rica and USA versus Jamaica.
Canada versus Costa Rica, guys. Who do you think wins that matchup on Sunday?
I'll take Canada. I'll take Canada 2-1.
Yeah, nah. I take Canada 3-0. And let me tell you why. This is the best Canada I've seen in a while. And to be honest with you, they should have won their group stage, really. The US wasn't much more dominant than anything. Canada had a better team. They controlled the whole game. They knew what they needed to do. They just got shocked with that early goal. If that wouldn't have happened, it would have been a 0-0 game. And Canada, who knows, maybe we should have ended up on top. But to me, Canada is the dark horse. Canada, Qatar, dark horse, but Canada wins this game. And I think Costa Rica has the worst team in the last decade. So Canada has all the vibes, all the chances, and everything their way. The only one that can screw it up is Canada. So let's go Canada. Make believes.
I mean, you said the best Canada, but I mean, they're missing their two best players, arguably the two best players.
But I'm saying they were the best Canada in their group stage. They were better than the U.S. Literally.
That's true. So you're taking 3-0 Canada. You said 2-1 Canada, Aurelio, if I remember correctly.
2-1 Canada. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, man, Costa Rica's kind of tough sometimes because obviously, obviously, like I said earlier, they're at the end of their golden generation or whatever or whatever you want to call that era of their football. So they're in a transitional stage where the next big tournament they're in, or even in the qualifiers, we're going to see a lot of changes, a lot of new players from Costa Rica come up and go with more of the youth. I'm going to go 2-0 Canada. Yeah, because I think Canada, like you said, I think they were the best team out of that group. With all due respect to the United States, but Canada is out there to prove something as well. They're an up and coming. They're obviously they have world class players, but they don't have them currently at their disposal. But they're playing as a squad, they're playing as a team. They have a lot of chemistry, and their coach has them motivated to come out here and make some noise. So
hey,
we'll see.
Those three teams in the MLS. When you talk about Montreal, when you talk about Toronto, and who else is down there? Vancouver. That's really helping the Canadian soccer team. It's really exploding and having them experience with all this youth to come out and play and be part of their teams. It's really helping out Canada. So I'm really happy for them. And the more competition, the better. Don't you think? I mean,
for sure.
I just believe these 8 teams that qualified to this quarterfinals are solid teams that are showing a lot of potential. It's not like you watch a team and you're like, oh yeah, we already know who's gonna win. They're just showing a lot of potential, and that's great for CONCACAF, right?
Obviously, look, this is why Copa America and the Euros do so high in numbers because we don't know who's gonna win. I mean, we have our favorites. We know, and Copa America, you got your Brazil, you got your Argentinas, but Uruguay comes out of nowhere. Chile comes out of nowhere and wins, and things of that nature. Euros, I mean, look, you got so many countries at top levels, Portugal winning it, obviously Italy winning this edition. Even Greece won it not too long ago. So the fact that you have potential winners coming out of all different places, it's a great thing for any kind of tournament. And I think the fact that with CONCACAF and with a lot of countries producing more world-class players is going to be a great thing for CONCACAF in the future. Because let's be real, the Gold Cup, we can say, hey, let's just forward it to the final. It's Mexico USA. Who's going to win? Let's just forward it to the final, and that's not good for a tournament. That's not good for a region that's trying to produce, top talent in this world of soccer. But guys, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I said 2-0 Canada, but let's go with the final match. Obviously, the United States of America versus Jamaica. Jamaica
me crazy.
Yeah, exactly, man. Jamaica is not a team to be slept on. They have world class talent as well. Players like Leon Bailey, who plays in the Bundesliga, who might be transferring to the Premier League here pretty soon, from what I hear. We'll see what happens with that.
Is he playing in the tournament?
Yeah, he's playing in the tournament. He's in the tournament. Damari Gary, who made it to the Jamaican team, who just got a transfer to Everton, is on the club is on the Jamaican team as well. So they got some players. Man. Let's not kid ourselves. And Jamaica has made it to, I think, the past two of the last 3 Gold Cup finals. So they're not a team to be slept on. Jamaica, USA. Aurelio, who do you think wins out of that one?
Man, that was gonna be a little harder. I'm gonna give it to the US 2-1, but it's gonna be an extra time.
Ooh, extra time. I like that. I maybe spill my drink.
I said the US 2-0, man. Jamaica is struggling still, though. I think Jamaica is not that very solid. They barely lost to a Costa Rican team who really had nothing to prove and got lucky with a goal. But besides that, I think the US has still, even though they're composed of mostly local MLS players, I think they still have a solid team that can produce so much game. And who knows? I mean, I just don't see Jamaica showing any kind of spark. They're up front. They're missing so many clear chances. Their finishing is so bad. It's like lack of confidence. So the U.S. has the potential, and I think the U.S. will qualify to semis, and we'll see. Hopefully, there's no surprises.
It's funny because this US squad, obviously we know it's not the A team. You said obviously it's filled with a lot of local players, a lot of MLS players, and we say it with a stigma like that's a bad thing, but in hindsight, it's a really good thing because you wanna see what these low domestic league players can do, and a lot of them have showed off a little bit. Obviously we know what Daryl Dike can do. We know what a player like a Reggie Cannon can do.
Hoping.
Yeah, exactly. Players of that caliber. So it's good for the U.S. to try out these players. Get them playing time, get them experience. Christian Rondon, who's the brother of Alex Rondon, the other Rondon brother, he's been playing really well as well. So it's interesting to see what happens, and I think those players are really motivated because they've been hearing the whole stigma around them that they're the B team, they're the B class players. And they want to show out. They want to show that they can go out there and play and represent their country and maybe cause an upset and shock the whole world and maybe lift this Gold Cup for United States of America. With that being said, sometimes with that the velocity for in Jamaica it's there and they have a lot of it, and sometimes velocity kills the USA. Man, I'm gonna go a little bit one further than Aurelia. I think this is gonna be a 1-1, and they're gonna go to penalties. But I think the USA advances. It's gonna be a very interesting game because I feel like both teams are gonna miss a lot of great opportunities to score and to actually win the game in regular time. But they're just not gonna do it because they don't have the efficiency that they would normally have if they had their A team. But yeah, I think it's gonna go to penalties, and I think USA comes out of that winning on penalties, maybe 4-2 or something like that. So with that being said, we'll see. We have USA, we have Canada, we have El Salvador, hopefully, cross fingers, and we have Mexico moving on to the semis. So we'll see, man. And for those who don't know, La Banca podcast will be live at one of those semifinals on the 29th of July in NRG Stadium. So, guys, if you're local and you're watching us right now, or you watch us later on and you're going to be there, if you see us, man, come up. We're going to be interviewing people. We're going to be talking, football with y'all locally and things of that nature. And we'll have some surprises out there for y'all. So we'll see what happens, But if we see you out there, if you see us, please come holler at us, and all that good stuff. But with that being said, one more tournament to go before we call it a day, and we'll make this real quick. But the Tokyo Olympics have started. With a lot of negativity, a lot of stuff going on with COVID. Obviously the country of Japan is not going through is going through hell right now with that COVID. But the Tokyo Games are happening. The opening ceremony is actually stated for tomorrow. Well, actually in a couple hours here from now, our local time. Opening round of games, guys. Obviously, we know it's the first game on. I'm sure like y'all didn't watch it live. I watched a couple of highlights. Anybody impress you? I know Mexico beat France 4-1. I know Brazil beat Germany 4-2. Spain tied against. I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but they tied 0-0. Honduras, representing CONCACAF, lost 1-0 to Romania, and Egypt, and I think Egypt and somebody tied 0-0. So
well, that was Spain and Egypt. They tied 1-1.
Oh, there you go. Okay, Spain
0-0. I'm sorry. Yeah, Spain 0-0. And Egypt 0-0.
So guys, obviously it's not a big tournament for soccer, but they do have this tournament for soccer during the Olympics, and and it is kind of a big deal to win Olympic gold, in the soccer tournament. So guys, obviously, you know the teams available. Who are your favorites? Just real quick. Obviously, we know we have the big dogs like Spain, France, Germany, Brazil out there, Mexico. Who do you think wins first, second, and third? Because there is a third place in this because they do hand out bronze. Fidel, I'll go with you first.
Lost?
There you go. Argentina lost 2-0 to Australia.
Yes.
Fidel, I'll go with you first. Who's getting the gold? Who's getting the silver? And who's getting the bronze?
Man, I'm debatable on this one because I see Spain and Mexico in the finals. I don't know if that's possible. I haven't looked at the brackets, but I see Spain and Mexico in the finals. Hopefully, one of the two, maybe even Spain winning it. And I think Spain has the most pressure, but Mexico's playing an amazing style of soccer. They gave this tournament a lot of priority, which is good. It's good for it. And then third place, I see Brazil. I mean, those three teams, Spain, Mexico, Brazil, in that simple order is how I see it outcoming at the end of the day. And then looking at a fourth place, I mean, you can throw a Germany and Argentina or France up in there, but the way Mexico played France this morning, I mean, oh my God, total dominance. And then at the same time, you look at a Brazil who beat Germany, that's pretty good. And then you look at a Spain who struggled, right? 0-0 against Egypt. So I mean, yes, Egypt was against the wall and Spain couldn't penetrate. So it's one of those bad luck kind of games where you really try to find a hole, a mistake, or whatever. But I mean, those three teams to me really have all the pressure to win it. And of course, shout out to Mexico for always giving this kind of tournaments some kind of priority, which is a good thing. And I think France got what they deserve because they didn't really give this tournament a priority. They could have had an Mbappe or they could have had a few other players out there, but they didn't.
It's hard to get those kind of players because the teams don't have to let them go.
Yes, that's
Right.
That's
I
not
get it.
So,
regular.
so it's that's why some of these teams, some of these players that do end up having the age, weren't able to go. Mexico has like one or two players that ended up staying in the Gold Cup because they wouldn't let them go
Right.
to Tokyo.
So who Aurelio, gold, silver, and bronze? Who's taking the gold? Who's taking the silver? Who's taking the bronze for you?
I'm gonna go with Mexico taking gold.
There you go.
The rest can I don't care.
Who
Doesn't
they playing
matter.
the Who they playing
Hey.
the final? Who they playing the
Hey.
final?
You
Then?
know what? We'll play Brazil in the final.
Oh, there you go.
Ah.
Hey,
Make
Brazil,
it 2-0.
Revenge.
Make
Revenge.
it 2-0. Revenge for what?
for the
Revenge for
last
what?
for the last
We beat 'em last time.
Olympics.
You don't remember? Revenge. Yeah.
We beat them.
No,
Exactly.
no, that was the Neymar team. That was the Neymar team that beat Mexico 2-0.
Yes.
Damn, we made it to two finals already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember 2012. I don't
No,
remember.
yeah.
2016.
The 12 was the one that y'all
Yeah.
won, but
Mexico won that one. The next one, Mexico
Yeah.
lost. Yeah.
Yeah, the
I
Mexico.
didn't even know we made it to the final that year.
Hey, come on, Aurelio. But yeah, man. I mean, Brazil. I mean, showing out today, beating Germany 4-2. Richarlison with a hat trick. So Richarlison is one of those experienced players that are still. I think he's still under 20. Is he under 23 or is he might be one of the veteran players, I guess.
Well, like you have to understand, they made an exception. You can be 24 because this tournament should have been last year.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
That's why they made the exception. I'm like, if it's 1 year, if you're eligible to play last year when it was supposed to be done, you're eligible to play this year.
That's good data right there. I like that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. But yeah, before I give you my gold, silver, and bronze, Juan Martinez says Spain versus Japan final. I think people are sleeping on Japan. They're the hometown team. I remember him saying it in the Spanish show. Japan does have a lot of talent. Not anybody that we kind of know, per se. I mean, I know they have Kubo, which is one of the big players. He's the most known because he's a Madrid player that's been on loan a couple of teams in La Liga.
Yeah, no, it was right. It was Brazil Germany in the final 2016.
Was it?
Yeah, we beat Neymar's team in 2012.
Oh, okay,
Right.
okay.
So in 2016.
I'm about to say, I'm like, I know I'm not smoking.
In 2016,
I
Brazil
took my
won it.
medication. Y'all probably didn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, man, a lot of people sleep on Japan. I'm gonna go, man. It's just this Spain team is just so loaded, man. I mean, you're talking about Pedri, Dani Almo. I mean, you're talking about like almost half of the Euro 2020 squad is on this Olympic team. Even the starting goalkeeper Unai Simeone. You got Marco Asensio. You got Dani Almo, Pedri, like I mentioned earlier. This Spain squad is loaded. So I mean, I don't see how they don't win this tournament. So I'm gonna go with them gold. I'm gonna go with Brazil silver. I'm gonna go with Japan. No, not Japan. Sorry, Mexico bronze and Japan fourth place. I don't know how the brackets stack up or whatever. That's without me even knowing how the brackets stack up. So, but with that being said, that's the way I'm leaning. So, we'll see, man. I think it's gonna be interesting. It's a shame that those matches come on so damn early in the morning because, I would love to see those matches. Obviously, to see future talents of soccer playing. Obviously, with just one thing of note before we leave, we leave the show for tonight. Honduras, I think Little made a statement in the Spanish show that their whole team is only valued at $5 million, according to Transfer Market. While Spain is over $500 million in value of players. So a big discrepancy, but we'll see. If there's an underdog, that's one to look out for. But guys, obviously we're coming to the end of the show. Like always, we want to say thank you. We appreciate the fact that that you hang out with us, chat with us. We want to give a shout out to Juan Martinez, Nino Osvaldo. Appreciate it. Ramon, you stayed up with us. I know it's kind of late. It's already 10 o'clock, but, we appreciate the late night chats. Guys, before anything, if you want to give us a like, subscribe, please let your friends know about us. We're going to try to be more consistent. Like I said, it's one of those things that we're trying. We're not professionals, but we're trying to, make it out here and give you a good show with a lot of information and a lot of good topics. Again, like I said, just a reminder, next Thursday, there won't be a show. We're not too sure when we're going to do it next week because next Thursday we'll be live at NRG Stadium for the semifinals, depending on who it is. We'll see who it is. We'll know after Sunday who's going to be at NRG, but we'll be out there. Please, like I said, don't be shy. Don't be scared. Come up if you see us. Let us know. Talk to us. We'll gladly put you on camera, and if you give us permission, we'll get you on the show for next time. But with that being said, guys, anything I want to say, Aurelio, before we go?
Not much, man. Thanks for staying with us. I know we've been having some issues trying to get everybody together, but it's life. What can we do? We just get hit with punches, and we just, whenever we get a chance, we throw them back.
There you go. Fidel?
Yo, just be alert. We might have some tickets for the Gold Cup on July 29th. So stay alert with us. And we're gonna be live out there. We might even do a show before before the July 29th show, because it's a Thursday and we do the show on Thursday. So we might do the show on Tuesday or Wednesday, who knows, and then do the show again on Thursday before the game at NRG. So stay alert, stay alive, and you might be the lucky winner. Let's go.
There you go. With that being said, guys, we appreciate the support. Please click that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up and like and all that good stuff. But, hopefully we'll see you next Thursday at NRG. And if for those we don't live here locally in Houston, we'll see you next time on the show, whether it's Tuesday, Wednesday, or the week after. But peace.